Hello everyone, this is Miss D with Boston TV. I'm here with my ladies as usual. We're about to bring y'all some heat real quick. You already know what it is. So I have my baby girl. Introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, this is Mimi. How y'all doing today?
And my other chick on the other side of me.
Hey y'all, this Miss Mika. Yeah, I know what I do.
Also humble. And we have a special guest on today who Mika actually brought, and I would like you to introduce her, Miss Mika.
So here we have Miss Asia. I met Miss Asia a few years ago, and I've always been intrigued by her willingness to just keep moving forward. So as soon as we started this show, she was the first person I was like, look, I gotta have her on.
Absolutely.
She is not a DC native, which I love.
Okay.
Because she came to DC and found her own way, found what it was that she needed to do, how to get it done. And I love that about her. I
Okay.
really, really do.
Yes.
I want to get to tell y'all just a little bit. Give me 1 second. I know y'all bear with me.
Gotta get the facts.
Yes, I gotta get the facts. So, Asia is actually from Milwaukee. She came to DC to try to escape poverty. She dealt with a lot of dysfunction in her life, and what I love about her is that she is an overcomer of mental health issues, because you know we all got mental health issues and we all try to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. My dear has felt like she has beat a lot of odds, and I'm here to tell you that I'm rooting for you, because look, she's doing things that I couldn't do.
Yes.
After working a lot of deadbeat jobs, being a single mother, she fell in love with the beauty industry. As you can see, she is very beautiful.
Yes.
If you guys go to her Instagram, look, what's your Instagram?
The hairdresser.
The Hairdresser. Look up The Hairdresser, all one word. You will see her beautiful work. She enrolled in Bennett Career Institute. And for that was like therapy for her.
Okay.
She went through some struggles and some times, but she was able to beat the odds. She's worked a lot of different jobs here and there. When I first met her, she was like, I'm going to apply for a job. And I'm sorry, but this is the voice she had. I'm going to apply for a job just being a receptionist. And she did that.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, y'all, when I say God works, He works. And she is living proof. She went in just wanting to answer the phones, and they said, no, you're not about to do that. What you're about to do is come over here and do some hair. And she was like, oh, I could do that.
Okay.
And after doing one client, then the next client, she built her own clientele, and she's able to move from whatever shop she wants to go to. And she still has the same clients or new clients. People just be drawn to her. So with no further ado,
yes,
we're going to give you one of the best single mamas that I've seen in a long time.
Single mama,
All
shout
right.
out.
When I say single, shorty do it by herself. She got a little group of people that help, but when I say she does the home life, you know, by herself, and I love her for that. And I love y'all too, you know.
But we got to shout out all our working women, hard working
those
women.
that are bossing it.
Yes.
Okay, and Asia is definitely bossing it.
Oh,
So,
yay. I love a boss.
if you do not mind, please let our people know
Please.
what you do, how you do it, and what you love about what you do.
Yes.
Alright, so I've been drawn to hair since like I was 9 or 10. I seen my nana like with some curly hair one day, and I was like, how did you get it curly? And she was like, they sewed it into my hair. And I was like, to your scalp? She showed me, and
That's a funny
since then,
story.
it's like the doors of heaven, the gates of heaven opened up. Like, and I just been intrigued by hair, like how to, you know, cornrow to get it in. Like that was my first interest or whatever. So like over the years, like my grandma wanted me to be a nurse, but I was scared. Like if I give somebody a shot, it would go all wrong. And when I ended up in DC, like Mika said, I was doing dead-end jobs. And I just remember, like, I was like, how can I be like the customers who seem to like never be at work during the day? Like they would seem happy.
Yes.
They would, like buying stuff, and they would be like, how much was it after they paid for it? And I was like,
Living free.
Yeah, like I want to feel like that, but how do I do it?
Yes.
And it wasn't until after I had my daughter that I was like, well, her daycare was the only one that was open. Like me and her dad, like we needed a break.
Mhm.
So I stopped working when I was 5 months pregnant. But that was the only daycare that had an availability, and it happened to be Bennett Career Institute.
Wow.
So I went back to work. I was like, I'm trying to like stop breastfeeding. I
Yeah.
need to like have my freedom back.
Yeah.
And eventually, like I was like, I'm gonna enroll.
Yes.
Yeah, so I enrolled, and that was hard. Like
Yeah.
I knew how to do hair, but I didn't know how to slay. Like I didn't,
Yes.
I didn't have all that. And then like I'm coming from Milwaukee, where it's a little country and a little bit like California. So
Okay.
over here, the East Coast, it's just like more
Moving
shoulder
fast.
into it.
Yes.
That's right.
Put some stank on it.
Shout out to the East Coast.
Hey, you put some stank on that
So
thing.
like my instructor used to be like, I know you can move. She was like, use your body. She was like, you got a child, so you
Yes.
got that.
Yeah, so you did
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Yeah, so like I started to like, you know, like I let them help me bring out of me like what I had. And it was
Awesome.
still hard because just struggles of like, I'm gonna be honest, like as soon as
We love honesty here.
yes,
Yes.
the day that I enrolled, like I told like my daughter's father I was engaged. And I remember the administrator was like, you married? And I was like, nah, I'm engaged. And he was like, does he know that you're about to enroll? I was like, we talked about it. And so you hear that kind of music in the movies, I was like, okay, whatever that's about.
Yeah.
But then like he was feeling indifferent, almost like I was gonna leave him behind.
Mm.
And the next month,
Mm.
like I gave him the ring back, like do not have to leave. I can't say what happened, but sometimes like my smart trip might be missing. My keys would be in a place they weren't last night, and I gotta get on the bus, get her.
Mm-hmm.
And then like within 3 months, my manager, I was a supervisor, and my manager would not come in and train me and promote me. I was trying to be assistant manager. So this is the first time in my life that I call it jumping off the cliff. That I was
Yes.
like, I quit.
Yes.
I tried to get unemployment.
Mhm.
They was like, no, you quit. And I ended up getting TANF, which I was scared of.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Family members and people you see that I didn't want to be
You
like.
gotta take care of your family.
Yeah, I thought I was
It was
gonna
a
be like,
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the welfare queen. But I
Right.
used it. It was like $500 each month.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sign up for me. I just did what I could, and I
Did
signed up
what
for
you
my
could.
daughter. And I stretched it. And when it was time for me to like go to the senior floor, I remember like my first tip was $3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Wow.
like 27, 28, and like that was the first money that I earned.
Mhm.
And that I felt like I got this for something I did.
Right, right.
And I was just happy, and from there I just used to like, I kind of lived off my tips and TANF until I graduated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
But you
Amazing.
know what? You gotta make it do what you gotta do.
Yes.
You know? And I'm glad that you brought that up because we got I'm not gonna say a young mother, but a mother that is raising young kids too.
Mhm.
And she deals with the woes of life, and we just had a
Are you
conversation.
speaking on me?
Yes, I
A
am.
young mother.
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
mother.
I know she old, y'all. My sister 30. All right.
She got on some
I'm still youthful.
Yes.
Yes.
Very useful.
But with both of you all, what is the hardest thing that you have found trying to raise your children and have you be you?
For me, is doing it alone. You know, you have to find, like, this is what this show is about, finding a balance. But at the same time, you need a village.
That's right.
Even if you got one kid, you need a village because you need self-care time. You need to go do
Mhm.
get your hair done, nails done, feet done, whatever you like to do to make yourself feel beautiful, right? So for me, doing it alone is hard. You know, my mom is gone, she passed, so she was my support system. So now I'm literally doing it on my own. I do have my brother, but he has his own life.
Mhm.
So I'm literally back and forth, doctors, everything, dentists. I mean, you name it, I have to do it. Make sure they got their school clothes, iron, everything. I mean, it's hard to
Right.
do it alone. So that, for me, I say doing it alone. Although I'm doing it,
That's right. That's right. I'm very
and I have no
proud of you.
choice but to do it. But doing it alone without the father, you know what I'm saying? these fathers, I'm gonna speak out to y'all real quick.
Y'all better get a
Y'all
little box
need
not
to
working.
step up. Y'all need to step it up. Step it up.
I'm trying to push the applaud button.
Okay, yes. Look, applause.
Yes.
Because we are really literally raising your children.
Right.
And it's very difficult and it's very hard. And we don't get time for ourselves. You have to schedule time for yourself.
Mhm.
You have to break away and find some type of happy medium. So, fellas, come on. You made them.
Mm.
You was getting it while you was making it. So, come take care of them because we need y'all help. We can't do it alone.
Yes.
Although we are doing it. And we
25
will
years
do
in the
it.
making by myself.
But that's the hardest part for me. What about you, baby girl?
I would definitely agree. Doing it alone, and like you said, like having a village is everything. Like I would definitely say, you know, I'm definitely a woman of pride. And
me too.
when it comes to my children, I used to hate having to ask for help.
Yes.
I would rather
Yes.
struggle.
Yes.
You know, but you know, over the years I realized that, you know, I was putting my kids in a situation they didn't have to be in if I
Mhm.
was to reach out, you know.
Mhm.
And I will say, having assistance or help or support does help me a lot. Like I have two amazing humans in my kids' life. Well, I have a lot of amazing people in my kids' life, but I will say that my son's godmother, Ashley, my sister, my best friend, whose birthday is this Friday.
Happy
Happy
birthday!
Ashley.
Turn up.
My favorite person
Turn
in
up.
this whole universe besides my kids. Happy birthday to her. And my kids' Aunt Asia, like wonderful ladies who, whatever I need, whenever, no matter what it is, they come through for me. You know, so
Yeah.
having to raise my children alone,
Yeah.
especially these last 4 years, has been very, very hard. And like you said, like with these men not taking care of their children.
Step it up.
And just a little insight to me, you know, to my life. I was in a long relationship for 10 years with my kids. I was straight out of high school, and we had 4 children. And when the relationship ended, it was like the support ended.
Right.
And that's not right.
And,
Once you relate, I'm sorry to cut you off, but once you stop the relationship with the mother, that does not mean you have to stop the
Exactly.
relationship
Exactly.
with the child or children.
Somebody should have told Big Nook that 20
Big
years
Nook.
ago.
When you had Big Nook.
And you know, and for me, and I'm very stubborn. I'm like the type of person, you know, like I say, you know, like I never did the child support thing. You know, my kids gonna be good with or without. You know, that's my mindset. Even though I know that my children does need their father,
Yeah.
but anything he does do, I'm not gonna, you know, shame him and say he doesn't do anything. But whatever he do is just extra on top of whatever they have, you know. But doing it alone after, you know, having someone there for all these years, and then now all of a sudden, you know, you're approaching your 30s and you just everything by yourself, taking them to school, picking them up,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
trying to work, trying
Answer
to
questions.
have time to yourself.
Give them
Like, I can't
hugs
even,
on it.
you
Yeah.
know,
Love
my
on 'em.
kids is from 10 to 5, you know. So, and it's 4 of them. I can't even use the bathroom by myself. When I need my peace, you know what I do? I go to my car. I sit in my car because I can't use my
Okay.
bathroom.
You have to do
They done
what you
broke
gotta
the
do.
locks on my door, so I
Dang.
can't lock my door. I go to my car for my little bit of peace.
Right.
But then my phone rings and, Mommy, where you at? Where you go? You went to the store? Can you buy some tacos? Like,
None of your
okay,
goddamn
everything, you know.
All
so
in the
it-
business.
It's definitely a challenge, and I've always
Yes.
thought that the older they get, it will become easier.
Mm,
But that is
yeah.
not true.
It's not. They
I'm
get
going to
needier
say-
as they get older.
I'm going to say as someone who has adult
Yes,
children.
it is not true.
Your
So,
concerns.
You have adult
grow.
children. Please
Yeah.
tell us,
Yeah.
how
So-
is it now for you?
So now, my concerns are a lot different for my kids. For my boys, it's constantly, are they safe?
Yeah.
For my girls, it's constantly, do they have enough?
Yeah.
Can they provide?
Right.
My daughters are those who know me know that God didn't allow me to birth any girls. So by the grace of God, he allowed me to adopt 4 girls. And 2 of them I'm still kind of in contact with, and 2 of them I don't talk to much. One of them I don't talk to at all. She's totally cut off conversation with me.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I still love you, Asia.
Okay.
That's
still your baby
yeah, that's
girl.
still my daughter.
Mhm.
But making sure, because they don't ask me for nothing. My
Right.
daughters would never ask me for anything except for to wash their kids. That's the most that they would ask me for. And it's because they saw me be so strong and I ask nobody for nothing.
Right.
And the thing about the boys, since that y'all have younger people, I'm gonna give y'all just 2 dimes, 20 cents, okay? The first 10 cents is do not allow your children to not see you cry. Let them see you cry. Let them see that you got emotions. Let them see that you're a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't, they gonna grow up thinking that nothing hurts you, nothing bothers you, and they gonna think that they can't be bothered. Nothing's supposed to hurt them. Nothing, and then they gonna grow up with all these false expectations in their head.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing for those that are raising sons,
Me and you.
do not let your son see you do it all by yourself. Because if you do, they gonna think that whatever woman they get with can do it by herself.
That
Facts.
is some
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yes.
Y'all,
And that's a lot of
please,
a lot
can
of
you
these-
say that one
yes.
more time for the people in the
Okay,
back who
and I
can't hear
tell
you?
so when I was doing my mental health training, and when I would try to train other young women, I would tell them this, that it's okay to cry in front of your kids, but also if you have young boys, because we messing. I constantly have to have talks with my sons and tell them that bitch ain't me. Like, she's not gonna do what I did. And you don't know how I got to be this strong. So I never wanted my sons to think that women are gonna do what their mama do.
Mm-hmm.
I have a son that has a daughter he has children. My oldest son has 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever any of his kids' mother don't be on the Mika boat, he can't understand it. I've been telling him, they're not gonna do what your mama did.
Right. They're a different breed.
They did. You know, so it's a lot of boys, a lot of men that grow up. Y'all ladies that wondering why your man don't do the stuff he's supposed to do, because he grew up with his mama being strong and his mama not crying, his mama going to work, not saying nothing, he never knowing that she probably had to do whatever, stand in a line to get the food. You know, a lot of our kids don't know what we gotta do. They had school for 6 hours.
Right.
While we out here either at the TANF office,
Trying to make a
in
way.
line, trying to get somebody to pay your light bill, gas bill. Your kids don't know that. All they know is that every time they come home, the lights cut on.
Right.
They know
Yeah.
that when it's
everything
time
working.
to eat, it's food in there.
Yeah.
That's what. And to my women that's on TANF, it's nothing against that. You use it to work for you. Don't work for it.
Right.
So when your kids grow up and they see that you on TANF, or think that you get money every month, and they don't never see you get up and work, they won't think they can get money every month, and they ain't got to get up. And those who have been on TANF for some time, you see how the system has changed. If you do not want your children to go through this struggle thinking that it's all hunky-dory and it's all easy, you men, I know a lot of men who are single fathers, be transparent with your children, with your girls and your boys. Let them know how hard it is to be a single parent. And you knucklehead kids that don't appreciate your parents, it's a place in hell for y'all. No, but for real, you know, because it does say honor your mother and your father.
It does.
So y'all, no matter what your parents took you through, please just honor them. You know,
Honor
if
your
your
parents.
parents are no longer here, do what you can to honor their memory.
Yeah.
But to make a long story short, y'all, be transparent with your kids. They say you gotta tell them everything you go through. But when you had a bad day, you let them know, I had a bad day. I need some time to myself. I used to tell my kids, if you do not give me time to myself, I won't be able to take care of you. So be
You gotta be
transparent
okay
with your kids.
for
you
your
know?
kids.
And I've learned that over the years. Like I'm very open with especially my oldest two, because they can understand. And I talk to them like they little adults for the most part, age appropriate wise, you know. And I have to let them know, like my oldest, like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like that's my little backbone. Like
Yes, she is.
little mommy. You
She
know?
gonna take care of her.
But I try to do it in a way that's where as though I'm not taking her youth from her.
I like that.
And
I
I'm
like
not
that.
giving her too much
Responsibility,
because
yes.
I know growing up that's what happened to one of my sisters. My mom got sick, and
She had to take
my
on
sister had to
everything.
take on everything. And I know I didn't understand. I was young. I was 8.
Of
You know what I'm
course.
saying?
Yeah.
But
baby.
as I'm older, I see how it affected her.
Mhm.
So I don't want to do that to my daughter, you
Right.
know. And
But you learn from that.
yeah,
situation.
I learned from that, and I learned from that. So like, she has responsibility as being the oldest to protect them and to
Mhm.
look out for them. But you also have to be yourself and have your own life. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, absolutely.
And she's a kid. Like, my daughter's 10, but you would think, look wise, physically wise, and mature
15.
wise, she's about 15.
Yeah,
you
she's
know?
very
And
mature.
she's not, I'm not gonna say like she's grown, like she doesn't dress grown or act grown, but she's very mature for
Mentally.
a 10, yeah,
Okay.
mentally for
Mhm.
a 10-year-old, because that's, I mean,
That's what you instill. Yeah, you
Yeah.
instill that in her.
Right.
And me watching you raise your kids, I'm very, very proud. Especially with, I mean,
Thank you.
I'm proud of you too. I told you that I've been watching you on social media
I
honey,
know,
for
I
a
know.
long time.
So we
now.
gotta get your insight on how what's
Yes.
behind this for you.
So I kind of will say the same thing y'all said, because my family is not here. Like, I'm 2,000 miles away,
So they're still in Milwaukee.
Yes.
So what's hard for me is I can't just go to my sister Diamond and be like, let me leave her here.
Mhm.
I first have to find somebody I trust.
Right.
Then
yes.
you gotta come out your pocket.
That's
Yes.
right. And that's for
Yes.
free nowadays.
for free.
And then if she start crying or complaining, they're gonna call,
Yeah.
and then you gotta leave work.
Yeah.
So like if school closed due to the weather,
Mhm.
it's my week since there's
Yeah.
a custody order. I gotta get my child.
Yeah.
And then it's like when we get home, it's kind of like, you know, like she's 5, so they talk from the moment they
Yeah,
get
you gotta
there.
pay attention.
Yeah. So time to go to sleep. And my evening, after I work the long day, it does not really start till she goes to bed. And I'd be like, okay, well, she go to bed 8:39. I'm gonna do the laundry, clean up, wash
Right.
dishes. And
Stuff
that
to
does
do.
not
Instead of
happen.
hours.
Yeah.
And try to relax.
Yes, and I have a puppy, so in the morning it's like I gotta finish the laundry from last night. It's like even like trying to like do social stuff, like I might plan it like, oh, this is when I'll have my daughter, this is when we can do that, and then I'm tired to where I'm frozen, I can't even answer the phone when
Yeah.
she's gone. And people like, oh, but you kid free, you don't have to work, and it's like
You're
Just
exhausted.
like
I have to decompress.
When I was kid free,
Yeah.
like in my 20s, I was all about going out, hanging out in this bar, that bar. When my kids is gone, I'm looking forward to my sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I turn my
People don't see
phone
that.
off. If it's an emergency, text me, I'll see it.
Uh-huh.
You know, but I be looking forward to getting some rest and some sleep. You know,
Yeah.
catch up on my TV
Do
show.
not disturb.
Exactly.
Growing up, we didn't have Do Not Disturb on our phone.
Right, you stick it up
But
there.
then he took it off the hook
Took it off
real
the hook.
quick, or I put a note. I lived in an apartment building where everybody came to my house. My house was like the hangout spot.
Everybody.
And it got to a point because I did have, I can't say I didn't have help. I had grace, the grace of God, where I had people that were in my kids' life that didn't mind getting them on the weekends. So I had a lot of weekends free to myself. But sometimes I had to put a note on the door to say, don't knock on my door. Because I don't want to be bothered. I need that time to decompress.
Right.
But you made something very valid when you said, because I was trying to explain this to a young person who has kids. And I told them that you can't chill and smoke a J and do none of that
Right.
while your kids are woke.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And this coming from a smoker. You know, I grew up smoking. My kids never was in the room with me. And half the time I couldn't even decompress and hit my J or drink or do anything until after 10 o'clock.
Yeah. After they were put to bed.
My kids had to be in the bed, sleep, and the kitchen had to be clean.
Because they're going to blow your high.
Yeah, they're going to blow your high.
I know.
And-
That
yes.
part,
Yeah,
that
would be
part.
mine.
Yeah, and whatever, you know, but you don't, whatever it is, your thought of unwinding is, even if it's just playing a video. At one point in time, I was addicted to video games.
Oh wow.
But
I didn't see you
I can't
making
see
play
you
no
do
video
that.
games.
I can't see it today.
Yeah.
But at one point in time, I was, but I could only do it when my kids were asleep.
Right.
Right.
That was your piece.
That was my piece.
Yeah,
You know,
I
when the
get it.
GameCube came out,
Oh,
that was. Anybody want to buy it? Let me know. But when the GameCube came out, that was my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I could only do that when everything in the house was like, that was the only time that I had time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tell young people, like this young person, I'm trying to get into their head that, you know, after you cook dinner and your children eat, you know, you put them in the tub.
Mhm.
Some people think, well, this is my time to relax. No, it ain't. Because what you think your kids in there doing in that tub?
Right.
Making a mess, you know,
You gotta
and-
go
and
clean that
they
up.
gotta go clean it up. But if you relax before everything is done, you ain't gonna get nothing done because you already relaxed.
You gotta wait till after everything
And
is
it's
finished.
so I say that, and I ain't trying to get on nobody's parenting skills or the way, and everybody ain't got to do things the way I did them, you know.
It's just advice.
Yeah, everything for me was trial and error. I tell people when you push out your baby, placenta come out afterwards, not no book. You don't get no handbook with each kid. You know, they don't tell you the do's and the don'ts. I had to learn trial and error because all of my children are different,
Yeah.
and I had to love them differently. I love them all the same,
Right.
but I had to love on them differently.
Yeah.
And so I had to
They were
realize
like
that,
all
you know,
individuals.
if I don't pay them attention, things are just gonna go all haywire, and then you grow up with kids who feel like you don't care, you know.
And I definitely agree with that because I have 4 different personalities walking around, and it's hard for me to give them their own special attention. But I'm learning. Like you said, you don't have a baby with a book. You learn
Right,
as you
right,
go. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Everybody's different. So like with my kids, like they're all into different stuff. But I try to make sure that one doesn't feel less than the
Yeah.
other. You know,
Yeah.
like my kids, they're all into different stuff, you know. So like with my boys, I do things differently with them than I do with my girls. Like one of my daughters, she's into modeling. That's what she does. The other one, she want to sing, and she does pageants.
Yeah.
So that's what she do.
Yeah.
Oldest son, he want to play basketball. So I try to like, I don't want none of my kids to live in each other's shadows, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm the youngest, you know, out of my siblings on both. Well, no, I got, yeah, but I'm basically
Pretty
I'm
much
the
you're the
youngest.
youngest.
Yeah, I'm the youngest. So I know what it feels like to live in your sibling's shadow. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
I take that, and I don't want my kids to feel how I felt. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm learning, and you know, like with the middle kids, I see like with my youngest daughter, she idolized her big sister, so she doesn't understand why she can't have butterfly locks at 6.
Oh,
You
no.
know, Brooklyn about to be 11, and she can get butterfly locks.
Yeah.
You know,
Certain
so-
things she
Yeah.
can do
So
that she can't do.
she's like, Brooklyn always get her hair so cute, and she's a Leo, so
And
she's
she a
very
diva too.
Yeah, she is.
Your
She's like,
baby girl.
Brooklyn, she don't wear bobos. Why I gotta wear bobos? Because you're sick.
That's
appropriate for a 6-year-old.
Right.
No butterfly locks, not this braids hanging down to your back. No,
No.
we're not doing that.
Not yet, baby
Right,
girl.
not
You gotta
yet.
wait your turn, baby. So, Miss Asia, can you tell us a little bit about what you do now? You know, you told us about how you got here
And you're located.
and let us know where you're located so
Oh,
people
okay.
can come check you out.
So I'm located. It's called the Penn Quarter location, and the salon is called Dry Bar.
Okay.
So what we do is it's no color, no cuts, but I can do it outside of work. Like, I'm allowed to do that.
Side job.
Yeah.
Side hustle.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So what
gotcha
you do,
hustle.
like you come in, and it's kind of like a rotation. So the first stylist gets the first client of the day, and like you go in a rotation, unless somebody requests you. And I
Okay.
feel like anybody's like head that I touch, like I'm trying to get them.
Yes. For your
Yeah.
clients. Yeah. For your clientele.
So
yes.
it's hourly and tips.
Okay.
And what I do is you just take them to the shampoo bowl, and they got like 7 signature styles.
Okay.
Okay.
But you know, we not like cookie cutter people, and it's kind of like really for like straight hair people. It's really like a McDonald's for hair, something quick.
Okay.
Like if
Okay.
somebody having
Yeah.
like a wedding event,
And you gotta
or
hurry up and get
yeah, the girl got like a dance event or something.
Mhm.
Like we do updos, but everybody comes in and we cater to everybody, and you take them to the shampoo bowl, and like it's the technique is round brushing,
Mhm.
and you should be able to do it in 45 minutes.
Oh wow.
And if you gotta like use the hot tools like flat irons or curling iron, 15 minutes. And
Wow.
Yeah, so
And
that's
do you
what makes
get that done in 15 minutes?
I do it on Monday. Like it snowed, so my
Right.
manager was like, "If you coming in, we start at 10 today, like a little later." So I was like,
Okay.
"I'll be there because I take Metro right now." Like I looked outside, it was no snow, but when I got there, I was the only stylist.
You make that
Yeah,
money, girl.
so he
yes,
managed.
dedicated.
He managed 2 stores, and he can't. It's almost like a parent. Like he can't see us individually, but he got to see me like take the people, do it in time.
So
And
much
I was
did,
like
yeah.
shocked at myself. I was like, okay, I'm really doing it.
Mhm.
And the clients were happy. And I like to, like, so at Bennett, a lot of people say, like, oh, Bennett is a little ratchet or whatever. But it's a good school, and they taught you, even if you can't, like, slay, which I feel like I've learned how to do.
That's right.
Yeah, like, even if you can't do that, like, he taught us the industry, like, how to put on the show.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, like, I dress up, I talk to the people.
Mhm.
You know, you ask questions.
You do what needs to
do
be
something
done.
different.
And
Yeah.
make the people feel comfortable.
Yes.
I don't want nobody working on my hair to feel like they got an attitude.
Yes,
you know?
they
Or
can-
they
they
don't,
know,
or
like-
I'm coming there to bother them.
Yes, like, it's your passion, it's your
Mhm.
job. Like, that's why I left my house this morning.
Right. And
So,
look the
yeah,
part. And look the
yeah.
part.
Yeah.
But the styles are like curls, waves. You know, you can get it straight, like different. A lot of people want volume, and you just add your own spin on it. Like at first, like I said, I was putting too much shoulder into it, and it was like, okay, these clients want a little bit less, so that's like the hard part.
But
Pick a
that's
side.
good that you can do that because
Yeah.
you know you might have some people who want to come see you when you not at the bar. So
Yes.
that's good.
So I'm
Yeah.
grateful
Show
for
that
that.
to her, you know.
And have you had successful clients that come?
I've had requests,
Good.
and they'll be like, I liked my hair so much last week, and I'll be like, oh, okay. And like
Good.
a lot of people got like long hair, but I'd be
Right.
like, you know what, they here, let's get it done.
Yeah, yeah.
And then my daughter would be like, sometimes she'll be like, Mommy, can you do my hair like if we home on a Saturday morning?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, like I was gonna do it before we went somewhere, but
Right.
and I was like, why do you want me to do it? She's like, cause you do hair at work, so
Right.
I feel like you should be doing mine. too.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it. That is awesome. I'm so glad that you have found something that you love.
Thank you. I
Yes.
do. It's like a part of me. And
From back when your grandmother was getting her hair done
Yes.
or doing hair, and it trickled down to you. So
Yes.
it's kind of like in your blood.
it is, but like even when it was time to like pick a college and all of that, like before I left Milwaukee, I know it's not like other people's responsibility. And like when I look back at what really happened, like my siblings were going through their own stuff. But I could say maybe I was a little selfish, but I'm also the youngest sibling on my mom and dad's side. I used to be angry inside, like, why did nobody say go to school for hair? Why didn't they encourage me to go to the community college?
You know what?
But now I know though, and
Right.
I'm not mad at them because they really were going through other stuff. Like they
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything for themselves.
Right.
Like
They were just trying to take care
Okay,
of the family.
I see what you're saying, but I look back and I was kind of feeling, and I'm glad you brought that up because it helped me deal with some of the stuff I was dealing with like 2 days ago.
Mhm.
I don't know why this popped in my mind, but sometimes the devil, he
Yeah.
dropped thoughts in my mind, and I had to battle that thought by myself because I was like, dang, you know, I grew up with my mom's side of family, and it wasn't my choice of who I grew up with because I was a kid.
Right.
But I look at my dad's side of the family, and all of my cousins went to college.
Wow.
They all went to college, and I feel like I have a pretty good job. Well, not job. I have a career because job means just over broke. But
I like that.
I have
Yes.
a pretty good career. I got around the right people as an adult, and they encouraged me to go to school. But growing up as a kid, I explained this to somebody. I remember bringing home a good report card because I was a foster kid, so I went from house to house, place to place. But one time when I felt like, all right, God, this is where I'm supposed to live at, you know. So I'm really trying to go to school and really trying to do something at the age of 11, you know. And I came home and I brought it to my aunt, and I was excited. And I'm like, hey. And she looked at it, and she said, about time. From that day forward,
Shame.
until I became an adult,
Mhm.
every day I went to school like this.
Head hanging low.
Wow. That
She-
influence.
I never did any work,
Discourage your spirit.
and it was because I didn't have anyone in the home encouraging me.
Yeah.
I seen her encourage her children. I
Of
seen her
course.
encourage my sister,
Yeah.
but they didn't encourage me.
Yeah.
And even when I tried to think I was doing something good, it was like, about time you're doing something. And not know, girl, finally. And I never knew that I had a learning disability until I got in college.
Wow.
And they told me that I had a learning disability, and I was like, who got a learning disability? Like, you know,
Yeah,
because
you didn't even
nobody
know.
ever, there was a lot of things that I should have experienced as a kid
Yeah.
that I didn't. And I don't resent my aunt. Thank you, Aunt Gladys. I love you very much. Because I could have still been in a foster care in Florida.
Look where you at now.
But
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that. But when you said that, I dealt with that.
Mhm.
The thought of it the other day, like, dang, I probably would have had my bachelor's or master's or,
Yeah.
like I tried to enroll in divinity school recently and I don't have enough credits. Like there's a lot of, I was like, dang, if I had people in my life before, encouraging me. But I'm glad that I have reached certain milestones,
Yeah.
and I'm glad for the village that I have now,
Mhm.
and that's not taken away from anybody
Mhm.
that has ever been there for me or ever tried to encourage me. But it just made me think if I was younger, I would, if I had the right people.
Right.
And not to say nobody was the wrong person. So,
Right.
and I hope I ain't like just rambling because I have been drinking. But
Shots on
I hear
that.
you.
but I say that to say that y'all, you pay attention to whoever it is that you're responsible for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pay attention to their gifts, their talents,
Yes.
and encourage them.
Mhm.
One of my nieces was telling me, she was like, I want to do this, I want to do that. I said, you can do it all.
Mhm.
And
You
she
can do
said,
whatever you want.
how? It's
I'm
not.
listening. Go ahead.
Trust me, I try to clap over here, girl.
Okay. I need some claps.
But I explained to my niece you can do it all, and I told her that a doctor goes to school for 8 years or so, right?
Mhm.
But within them 8 years, they got some type of job. They a bartender,
Yeah.
they a singer.
Mhm.
You never know. They probably be doing hair, trying karaoke, something.
Yes.
So you can, if whatever goals you set out for, but also be verbal and let people know what your passions are.
Mhm.
And like one day I might be understanding, like Miss Asian say, people had stuff going on in their
But I
life.
still have my moments.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm a
Yeah.
kid and you was responsible for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Aunt Gladys.
Yeah.
So speaking on that, let me piggyback off of you about mental and mental illness. So you have overcome some things that were difficult for you. So let us know what happened, or if you don't mind sharing.
Yes,
it.
I am, because so a trigger word for me on the holidays is I'm spending time with my family. What are you doing? And I'm like, my child might be with her father, and it's because my mother is alive, breathing.
Mhm.
Some people really don't have a mom like
I don't.
6 feet
I
under. You
don't.
can't
I
see
don't.
her, right?
No, I am devastated.
Mine's in the closet.
My
Yeah.
I ain't playing mine in the prayer closet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand, but she had 3 kids before me.
Mhm.
They all got to live with her. She left me in the hospital.
What?
And even to this day, I don't have clear answers, but they say it was postpartum mental illness. I know she has a nervous condition.
Mhm.
She had me when she was 28, but I heard, so my grandmother said my dad drove her crazy.
Wow.
My dad said my maternal grandmother drove her crazy, who I lived with. And I kind of say it might have been a little bit of both.
Okay. Okay.
But I
So
can
you
definitely see
were
it
raised by
from
your
the
grandmother. Okay.
Yeah, I could see
Your
that.
mom's.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your mother come around?
So she's been on, my insecurity was so bad that I didn't live with both parents, that like in junior high, grammar school as they say out here, I used to like lie for no reason. So that was a mental illness, which
Right,
nobody
right.
knew about because I wasn't doing it at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like lie. I'd be like, my mom works here. I live with my parents. Boom, boom,
Right.
boom.
Because that's what you wanted.
Yes.
So I
and
don't think
nobody
that was a
knew.
lie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You were creating your own
Reality.
reality.
Yes.
Yes.
And it was to help you to pay attention to your current reality.
Yes.
To cope too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just
No.
being honest. Being working in this industry for so, I'm surprised that you don't do any type of drug.
Wow.
So the thing about what scared me
Mhm.
is like I'm not against like weed. Like I
Right.
actually think that like that doesn't kill people. You can't
Right,
drive
right.
and get into an accident. But my mother smokes, so I got to like go with her on the weekend, and
Mhm.
she would come
Okay.
over. I'd
So
be
you
like,
did know
yeah,
that.
I
Okay.
know her. I'd
Okay.
be like, Mommy, you spend the night, and of course she would get up and sneak out at night because she
Mhm.
probably had a man or whatever. But she smoked cigarettes so bad that it's in her pores.
Oh, okay. So
And
you
like-
smell it.
Yes, and I just remember like as a kid, I would be like, well, I knew I wasn't living in Milwaukee. I was like, not gonna be like that.
Yeah.
It was already ingrained in me. And like, let's say like when I turned 16, I kind of like left my grandmother's house.
Uh-huh.
You know, I go stay with my siblings. I can only stay with my mother for a week or two. I might be working at like where was I working? Like Walgreens, CVS,
Uh-huh.
and she would think like you're supposed to buy her a pack of cigarettes, not a day or a week, but 3 packs in a day. And so
She had an
I
addiction.
was always scared to pick up something. Like when my grandmother on my dad's side passed, they was like, you gonna hit this today, like my favorite grandmother, and I just couldn't because I was afraid of being like my mom.
Being addicted.
That's the only
okay.
and so maybe she saved me in a way.
She
Yeah.
did. But the reason why I say that is because when a parent has a mental illness,
Mhm.
of course, there's some signs are going to be in the child, right?
Mhm.
But in our society that we live in, we're taught to self-medicate
Mhm.
so that you can cope with life.
Yeah.
And that's something that I had to deal with for a very, very long time. If y'all keep watching, eventually each one of us will tell our story.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I would not smoke cigarettes. I didn't want to be around nobody who was doing any type of drug because I grew up with drug addict parents.
Mhm.
And that's all I heard. Even when I wasn't living with my parents, whoever I'm living with, you would hear them talk about your parents, And I was told for years, you're going to grow up to be like your mama.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that was one goal, and I kept saying I would never smoke any cigarettes. Being a teenager, any person I saw smoking a cigarette, I used to tell them they're going to be a crackhead.
Mm.
Because that's what I associated
Uh-huh.
crack with, was people who
Mhm.
smoke cigarettes. Because my
Mhm.
mama smoked crack, and she smoked cigarettes. So
Mhm.
in my mind, I'm thinking that's what a crackhead do. The first time I smoked a cigarette, I kept telling everybody, girl, if I smoke that cigarette, I'm going to die. Like, I thought I was going to die.
Mhm.
And peer pressure, my friends who coached me, like, girl, you're going to be all right. I smoked the cigarette, and the next morning I woke up wanting a cigarette. Now, I was like 18, almost 19.
Mhm.
And everybody around me been smoking cigarettes. And then this one time I smoked a cigarette, woke up wanting it, and for years I fought trying to fight the habit of wanting cigarettes. And I was just telling my sister today, I only smoke a cigarette, once a week.
Mhm.
Which is a good thing. It's very good, but I don't want to smoke any. I want to get to that
is
mind
good,
frame.
though.
Yeah.
However, my birth sister, I was one point in time, she was on drugs very heavy. And I had a conversation with her and I asked her, are you ever going to stop?
Mhm.
And what she said was, we came from drug addicted parents. What do you
Mm.
think?
Wow.
So for
Mercy.
me, I'm all about breaking generational curses.
Yes.
Mhm.
So for me, I really had to lay off a lot of stuff. The person you see today, I wasn't always this pretty.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Struggles. So have you had any problems with mental? You sound goofy. Are you okay? She got a
What
text,
she
so
text?
she
What
laughing
is-
at some text.
No, I'm not.
I want to know what it say.
I'm going.
Pass me the phone.
Anyway,
Pass me the phone.
so hold on.
Unlock it. Unlock it.
Okay.
I'm
So look,
sorry.
I'm gonna kick her butt.
I'm getting old.
We
Listen.
are back. We had to take a little short intermission just to get our thoughts and everything together, relieve ourselves, and do some other things that we didn't want to speak about. But anyway, so I was asking Miss Mimi, has she ever dealt with any mental illness or mental situations that were hard to cope with?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone has. So anyone who says that they never dealt with no mental health issues, they're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone deals with stuff. I think a lot of my mental health issues go back from my childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and the things that I had to endure and go through as a child. And a lot of it was, I would say, losing my mother at a very young age.
Yeah. You were what, 8?
Yeah, I was 8 years
Yeah.
old when my mother passed, and I grew up believing that one man was my biological father, and I found out probably like 2 days after my mom passed that he wasn't.
Wow. That's
um,
difficult.
And it was very difficult, growing up. I have other siblings on both sides, and just to be clear, the man who raised me, that's my father.
Mhm.
His blood is in my veins. He would say that, no matter what the
Amen.
situation
Amen.
is,
Yeah.
that's what
And
it
he
is.
took care of you, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. I love you. Hey, Daddy, I'm watching. I love you.
Yes.
But it was very difficult, growing up, because my mother is African American and my dad is Puerto Rican. So growing up with my siblings, I always felt like, why everybody light skinned with pretty hair and I'm the only dark one. And then I was the youngest. Sibling rivalries, so I had to deal with that growing up. And to this, it affected me a lot in my adulthood, especially when I started having children. I stayed in a relationship for 10 years that I was, 8 of those 10 years I was very unhappy, and I always wanted my kids to have what I never had, which was knowing their mother and their father. So I dealt with a lot of things because I'm like, even though I'm not happy, and I'm going through so much, at least my kids can say they know who their mom and their dad is, and it's very, it still is. It was very important to me that if I had more than one child, that is by one person. So all for my children is by one person, and we're not together no more. So and I've been in a relationship with someone else who wanted to have a child, and for me it was just like no, because if I have a child with you, then that child is not going to have a father, the same father as my other kids. So I definitely feel like I still have a lot of trauma that I'm dealing with, and a lot of it. I'm still dealing with it because I'm like the type of person, like, I'm very strong, and everything that I go through, I just kind of like, I live through it. So, just keep going, like, it was when I was a child, but one thing I have noticed, when you don't deal with these issues, it affects the people around you. It always come back up, and it affects the people around you, especially the ones that you're raising. And I don't want my children to grow up into adulthood and become like me. And I don't say that in a negative way.
Break the cycle.
I want to break the cycle. Like, I don't want my girls to, feel like, oh, well, they got to stick in an unhappy, unstable, toxic relationship because they have a child with this person.
Right.
And even though having a child grow up in a 2-parent household is uncommon, because I used to get a lot of friends and family who's like, oh, your kids, y'all been together forever. Like, you got 4 kids by one person. Like wow, like it's so like, because when people hear like, oh, if I tell them I have 4 kids, how many baby daddies you got?
Right.
They be like, 3, you got 1 baby daddy? Like, yes, I do. 1.
Some people do
Because
that.
the society that we live in, like it's so odd.
Yeah, it's so
for
odd.
people to be in a committed relationship or to
And
have
you
the
have
same
multiple children by the same person.
But I will say in that relationship, and my baby daddy might watch this, but but
we hope you do, be.
Hey, baby daddy.
Make sure you like,
But,
share, comment.
Come get your kids.
we didn't right.
She said right.
We didn't have we were young. Like, I met him when I was 14. And like Nika said, like, she grew up in foster care. I spent a lot of teenage years in foster care as well, moving to DC. And my grandmother had, she tried. She did the best that she can for the most part. And I don't know what it feels like to lose a child, and I know that brings on mental health issues. So she lost her only daughter, her youngest child, at a very young age, and she had to be a parent again. So she went through her own stuff trying to raise us, which caused me and 2 of my other siblings to end up in foster care. And that was really hard. Like, it was like a whole 360, and I don't regret anything that I go through. It's a learning lesson, and I know if I didn't go through the things that I've been through, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I say that to say, like, growing up in group homes, like, you had to fight for everything, like everything. Like, if this person had family they can go to on the weekends home with, and Shaniqua ain't had no family, she won't fight you, so you can't go home. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be stuck in a group home all weekend with her, you know? Unless somebody have some Nikes or some Jordans, because somebody gonna cuff them and work them, and you can't do nothing unless you're gonna fight for it. So, you know, I had to, you know, deal with
Struggles.
right, a lot of struggles. So, mental health has definitely affected me, and I used to, you know, be so much against getting help in therapy. I just dealt with it, may vent to a friend or a family member. But I just recently started going to therapy. I want to say I started therapy around October.
Okay.
It's this program that I'm with called Preventive Measures that Mika introduced me to, and I will
Shout out,
say
Mika.
that
Glory to God.
Yes.
I've been mentally in a much better state since I started doing my therapy, because I've been in therapy since I was 13, but I never took it serious. I don't need nobody telling me about me and what I need to do. But it does help, and it may not be for everybody, but if you have an open mind to it, it can help. Like I was in a car accident 2 years ago, so I still deal with, you know,
The trauma.
from that. Like I wouldn't drive for about 6 months. I was scared to drive. Like I would, and when I did start driving, you know, I would break down crying if someone do something
Out of the
swerve
way,
to me or
yeah,
beat
yeah,
at me, I get the crying.
Anything
and
that brought on
everything.
that past trauma.
Right.
Right.
So the therapy has definitely like helped me a lot, especially when it comes to dealing with my children. Because like I said, I don't want the issues that I had to really rub off on them, because I know like my girls idolize me. You know, like I'm like their Beyonce. Like,
Yes.
That's
I
right.
do they want to do, like everything, like, and I sit and watch them. Like I be doing, like today when I was doing my makeup, they just sitting there like just looking at me.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
You're so cute.
Oh,
Are you
I
putting
love
on what color lipstick? Like they just idolize me, so I don't want them to. They're not gonna make the same mistakes that I've made. They're gonna make their own.
You know why? Because you're teaching them, and
Right.
you're training yourself
curses.
Right.
to
Breaking generational curses.
deal with certain situations in a different manner than our parents deal with.
Right,
You
and,
know?
and that's what I'm saying. I'm definitely looking forward to breaking the cycle. I don't want my girls to think they have to sit back and you know just let their life go by and be like, wake up 10 years later in their 30s and just regret everything that they done been through just to have what they feel like needed. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't want my sons to grow up thinking it's okay to manipulate and use and abuse women, you know, and just because they see me
Break
doing a
that
lot of
curse.
things on my own, like I make especially my oldest son, he's 9 now, you know, I tell him like, you're the man of the house, like it's certain things that you have to do, like you're taking out the trash,
Yeah.
I'm leaving all these groceries in the car.
That's
We're gonna
right.
get
That's
all the
right.
groceries,
Yeah.
we're gonna bring them up, Brooklyn to put them up.
Yeah.
You know, when we go in the stores, you hold the door
Yep.
for me and your sisters. And if you see an elderly
Other women.
yeah,
Yes.
It's good that you instilling that in him.
Yes.
I taught my sons that at a young age, and now that they're adults, I be having little conversations with the little girls that they date or whatever. And for my oldest son, he's 25. My youngest son is 22. Thank you, Lord. I know I look 22. But
Yes.
I had a conversation with each girl. I always, because I want to know why you like my son. And they always say the same thing. He opened doors for me. I've never had that before.
Yes.
Now we got a special guest coming up.
Oh, baby. Say hi.
But just a quick piggyback on the mental health thing. If anybody out there suffers from mental health issues, or you have somebody in your family that you believe suffers from mental health issues, you can always contact 1-888-7-WE-HELP. That's 1-888-7-WE-HELP, and you get connected. Especially if you live in Washington D.C., you can get connected with any mental health agency. If y'all follow me, y'all can come get on my team.
Yeah.
And
Let them know where you at.
yes,
To follow you.
you can follow me at SheWalks_around like. Y'all, anybody who has know me know that I'm a big advocate for mental health because it runs in my family. It has plagued me for many years. It tried to touch my children. But like I say, we all sitting here breaking generational curses.
Yeah.
And if it's common, like Mimi said, we all battle something.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about how you battle it.
Mhm.
If you wake up in the morning and you're dealing with depression, reach out to somebody. Sometimes we get afraid to talk about our things that we go through because we're afraid of people repeating it. But I'm someone who has overcome a lot of issues, and I tell people I don't mind talking about my struggles and my issues because it may help somebody else, but also I don't care if people talk about it
Yeah.
or try to throw it up in my face because I know who I am,
Okay.
you know, and I have I have overcome a lot. But while I'm talking about overcoming stuff, because y'all know every week I got to give y'all a song, but I was very indecisive of what song I was going to give y'all this week, so I got 3. All right,
Right. Bring them on.
So one of them is "Help" by Erica Campbell and LaCroix.
That is my song.
Yes.
That
So
is
you
my
know,
song.
she made that song for me.
Oh, and me too.
Only reason why I say that is because it say that, you know, I got an S on my chest, but I
Yes,
still can't.
that's definitely you.
And when I heard that, and I was like, I should call her. Because, you know,
Yes.
she's my friend in my head.
Oh.
But I should call her and be like, bitch, thank
You
you.
can't say that to her. You gotta be like, lady.
Look, no,
Right.
look, God knows my heart and Earth listen. But, you know, that I really like that song because the lyrics speak to me specifically.
Mhm.
Another song that I have is "Endow Me" by Little Mo, Fantasia, and Coco.
Oh yes, I know that song.
Yeah, so it's "Endow Me,"
and that's slept on.
yeah,
Y'all need to check
y'all
that out.
gotta check out that song. I played that song for one of my clients when she was going through something,
Mhm.
and from the beginning to the end of the song,
And them 3 voices.
yeah, she was in
Yeah,
my
me.
head.
Yes.
I've never heard
Yeah,
that song.
yeah, I'm
Sure.
gonna send it to you. I'm gonna
When
send it
I
to you.
say you feel that spirit move through your
And that's for
body.
anybody who is ready to say yes to their calling in their life.
Yes.
Okay, that song. Now I have another song that it's called "Holy One," and a lot of people have never ever heard that song before. Could never ever imagine that a song exists, but it's called "Holy One," and the person that's singing it is Anisha. Anasha. And the song is just a cry out to God.
Mhm.
It's saying, you know, I come to you again, knowing that I have not done what you told me to do.
Mhm.
And a lot of us are like that. We have not done, and some of us are not quite into God because they think God ain't into us. But I'm here to tell you,
Right.
you can never go too far. You can never dig a hole too deep. You can never go to anywhere without knowing that God is watching you.
Yeah.
So y'all, I hope that you look up at least one of those songs. You
Yes.
know, let it resonate in your spirit. Y'all, all my saints and sinners, y'all know what category you fall underneath of. I'm not here to put nobody in a certain category. But if you want a better relationship with God or with the person that the being that you feel is your God, check into these songs. Because
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it's going to minister to your spirit. And if it don't, like I said, if these songs that I give you don't minister to your spirit, y'all, work on your spirit. That's what I'm going to get into that next
Okay.
week. We're going to talk
That's-
about how your spirit,
Mhm.
how
That
good is
part.
your spirit.
That part.
Yes.
Yeah. So Miss Asia. So we were talking about the mental illness, and I just wanted to see if you have any advice or insights on how to cope and how to deal. Any advice for our followers, for our viewers that you have that has helped you cope with the things you've been through?
Yeah, so the
Good
first
question.
thing is, like she said, don't be afraid of therapy. Like, you have to want to do it. Like, I felt like I was forced into it before, so I didn't take it serious. Same thing. When you find a therapist, you gotta pick somebody. Like, I found somebody that might look like she could be my auntie.
Okay.
So
Relatable, relatable.
Yeah, so that, and also, I feel like if you find something you like and spend time doing it, like that could really be therapy. Like, it's weird. Like, if somebody pissed me off, like right before, like I do a client, I'm not gonna be off. I actually do it better.
Mm.
Yeah. So like
Yes.
that's therapy. Other ways to cope is like, sometimes, like for me, like I like the fan on. Like I'll turn the lights, I'll turn the fan on, and I'll
Okay.
force myself to go to sleep, or like Mika said, find somebody that you can talk to.
Yes.
You don't want to find somebody that when you call them, after 2 minutes they tell you about all their stuff.
Yes.
Right.
It can be like that sometimes, and then you like, you know what, I'll call you back,
Yeah.
and you kind of like by yourself.
Yeah.
Because it is taken away
Yeah.
from you getting your issue off. Now, after you, it's like dumping the trash.
Yes.
And then after you dump the trash, you pull out somebody else's trash bag
Yeah.
and take it in your house.
And it's like not
You
even
know,
more stress.
And I think that that's why a lot of people feel like I'm not relatable, because a lot of people call me and tell me about their problems, and I never tell them anything about my problem because I was trained not to do it that way. But know that if you dump your trash off for somebody, they got their own trash they dealing with. You know, sometimes it's cool to call the person who you rely on and ask them just how you doing.
Yeah.
You know, and that helps with a balance.
Right.
It does help with a balance.
Yes.
Somebody who, like Mimi said, I had introduced her to preventive measures for her issues, but she's somebody I go to with my issues.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a big balance there. You know, and a lot of times that I talk to her, she could be, I don't know what she in the house doing, but it seems like she's really fully engaged with what I got going on, and then I don't have to worry about her saying, oh, for real? Because then that's the same thing happened to me, or this happened to me, or this happened to me. You know,
Don't be that friend.
yeah, she got her days when she called me, and I got my days when I called her. So there is good to find a balance with that.
Yeah.
So, and then like, I don't know, whatever, if you have a faith or religion, like
Yes.
keeping that first.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
for
Praying.
me, like, yeah, that's number one.
Yeah.
Also, before we go, I definitely want to shout out Miss Shantia Coleman. She is a young lady, and I talked about her before, but I'm going to keep shouting her out because she gave this book for free.
Oh.
So,
baby.
Yes, I reached out. She has
Wake
a
up,
social
girl,
media.
and
yes.
push through. Oh.
So she has a social media, and what I did, I was going through depression, October, November, kind of type of depression. But I reached out to her, and what I did was I reached out to a lot of people because I've been in radio for so long. I just rubbed shoulders with certain people,
Yeah.
and she's someone I've never met, and I jumped out on faith, like you say, what you call it, jumping off the cliff.
Yes,
Mhm.
fall off the cliff.
I fell off the cliff because I reached out to a lot of people who are in the DMV area for help or job related stuff. Nobody ever hit me back. I could see that they either saw the message or just ignored it. I sent her a message on social media, and this young lady within 5 minutes sent me a message back. And what she said was, "What's your address?"
Wow.
That was it. What's your address? So y'all, she's coming out with volume 2. I'm still on volume 1 because I just started this year. I wanted to wait until the beginning of the year so I can really be focused. But every morning it's designating morning alone time with God, and I get up every morning at 5:30 and pray. Anyway, I ain't gonna say every morning because God will know I'll be lying. Some mornings I hit my button and I lay back down and I don't pray
Yeah.
because I just it's not in my spirit to do that. But I'm trying to get more diligent with doing that because me praying isn't for me. When I pray at 5:30, it's not for me. It's for, I'm supposed to be praying for other people. And then I spend time with God. But I noticed that each morning that I do it, I feel more like alive. You know, and so I'm just gonna read for y'all real quick before we leave. So today is the 19th? Yes, it is. So January the 19th, it says, "Be careful I'm careful to reverence you in everything, because without you, nothing is possible. You are omnipotent, which means powerful. You deserve to get praise, honor, and glory. I thank you for your word that says you will keep me in perfect peace for those who are steadfast and trust in you." That's Isaiah 26, verse 3. So daily I will wait and trust and direct you for you to direct my path, because through your direction comes complete blessing. If y'all want to know what the rest say, y'all gotta get the book. But every morning I try to read, and I try, like sometimes I get up, I might go to the bathroom and fix me breakfast. As I'm fixing breakfast, God be like, "What about me time?" So I gotta run it, and I stop doing what I'm doing because, like I say, without Him, I'm nothing. So as much as people think that I'm spiritual, like I said, as much as people think that I'm spiritual, I go through a lot.
Yeah.
And there has been some things that I felt like disconnected me from my prayer life. So I'm trying to get back into that. I really am. And that helps me with my mental health, because without God, honey, y'all would probably be watching me on Instagram.